Okay, welcome to Cabinet of Tuesday, the 20th of August. There's no statement from me. I'm standing in for the leader today. Record of previous decision making. Can we agree that that is correct? Excellent. Matters referred by the Council or the Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee for reconsideration. There aren't any. Reports from Overview and Scrutiny. There aren't any. Do we have any executive appointments? Excellent. So we'll move quickly on to item 8. We've got a recommendation from OSMC, which I was present at, and I'm perfectly happy to accept those resolutions there. They seem entirely reasonable. Item 8 is the financial monitoring and MTFS update, Q1. Just to go through the recommendations, obviously we're still running a slight deficit at the moment. That's run out over the whole year. It's around 6 million. We have a good record of getting these under control by the end of the year, and I know officers will continue to work hard to bring forward appropriate plans to bring the budget back into line. There are, however, a number of other recommendations that we need to go through. There's some requirements within the adult social care budget, and just for information, that is just moving money around within the council's budgets. And we've got some to accept an additional £1.77 million from the local authority housing fund. We had that in our budget, but now it is confirmed and we can now release it for the further purchase of accommodation to support the homelessness crisis that the country faces. And finally, there's the other substantial one is the release of £1 million, again agreed in the budget, but now formally agreed to release that to Bargate Square Phase 1, which will build on the full Bargate Centre is now open and the walkway is through. That will add to that and basically allow us to complete the circular walk of the walls for the first time for a significant period, which is really good news for the city. Other than that, we're just agreeing the minor changes to the medium-term financial forecast. So with that said, can we agree those recommendations? Agreed, thank you. Item number 9 is the corporate performance monitoring. The recommendations here are to note the report and also note the changes. There are a few minor changes to previous KPIs. One of them, for example, in housing requires us to, instead of actually counting the repairs in both emergency and standard repairs, which seems entirely rational because obviously those are different categories of repair. And there's one or two other minor changes within adult social care, which are related principally to how we collect and use data effectively. And there's a better way of doing it, and therefore those have been changed and reformed in this package. But has anybody got any particular KPIs that they'd like to bring up, or are we happy to agree the report? It was given a real good going over at OSMC in the public domain, so the report is out there already. So with that, can we agree the recommendations? Thank you. Item number 10, this is in the name of Councillor Kataria, and it's the Crisis and Resilience Fund. So I'll ask Councillor Kataria to introduce the report and then we'll look at the recommendations.
Thank you, Chair. I'm pleased to introduce the Crisis Resilience Fund for 2026 to 2029. This report seeks approval for Southampton's local delivery model for a 12.8 million government-funded programme over the next 3 years. The fund was introduced in 2026 April, following the end of the Household Support Fund. Unlike the previous arrangements, where funding was generally confirmed for 6 months to a year, this funding has been allocated for 3 years. Southampton will receive approximately 4.3 million each of the first 2 years and 4.2 million in the third year. This gives the council and our partners greater certainty and enables us to plan more effectively, knowing that the funding is there for 3 years. The purpose of the fund is to provide immediate help when low-income households face a financial shock, while helping them become more financially secure and less likely to experience the same crisis again. From October, when this begins, our local offer will be centered around 4 areas. The first is crisis payments. This will be a new application-based scheme for low-income households that have experienced a financial crisis or a shock and require immediate help. Residents will be able to apply throughout the year. Where appropriate, application will be connected with welfare advice, employment support, and help with essential needs. The aim is to address both the immediate emergency and the underlying causes. The second is the housing payments. This will help residents meet housing costs, sustain their tenancies, and reduce the risk of arrears, eviction, and homelessness. Residents will also receive further support from our partners and also support for budgeting their payments as well. Third is resilience services. This will be the largest area of investment, representing 59% of the budget in the first year and approximately 46 to 47 in the following 2 years. Through this, residents will be able to access practical help with food, utilities, and essentials, household items such as white goods. There will also be welfare and debt service budgeting assistance and employment support and skill support and access to training. And the fourth is community coordination and communication. And this is where we continue some of the support we're already providing, which is warm places and digital inclusion through our libraries. We will also strengthen coordination between council services, schools, voluntary organizations, and other frontline partners. We want residents to understand that help is available and to be able to access it easily as possible. The Crisis of Resilience Fund is not simply about helping somebody throughout one difficult day or a difficult period. It's about understanding and bringing them to a point and helping them for greater stability in the future. Under the previous fund, support was distributed automatically, including during the school holiday period with holiday supermarket vouchers. However, during this new program, support will be available throughout the year through the application. We recognize that this is an important change for families, and we will communicate clearly and work closely with schools and community partners to ensure residents understand how to access the support available. Supporting low-income families remains a central point. We will always invest further in holiday activity and food programs, work with government schemes as they come about. Like we saw during the summer period, we had the Great British Summer discount on VAT for children enjoying some of the summer activities. And we will also help young people with greater access to nutritious meals, activities, and enriching experiences during school holidays. The need for this program is clear. The Equality and Safety Impact Assessment reports that 37% of pupils in Southampton state-funded schools were eligible for free school meals in 24-25. It also reports that just over 18% of adults in the city show strong indication of needing debt advice and help. The program will operate entirely within the government's funding allocation and will create no additional pressure to the council. Its performance and expenditure will be closely monitored and flexibility to respond to residents' needs throughout the year. I would like to thank our officers and all our voluntary community and public sector partners who have helped develop this model, who will be a central point to the success and delivery. I'm pleased to move the recommendations as set out in the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kataria. And the key points here is it's more money, we've got it for longer, and we're going to invest it in making people more resilient, and that is the key point. So basically, instead of just giving them some money to tide them over, we're going to try and support them to solve the issues that they have and to basically improve the quality of their lives. And that's exactly the approach we should be taking. And I'm personally fully supportive of the government approach here. So can we agree the recommendations? One is to approve the proposed local delivery model and to delegate to the Executive Director of Wellbeing following consultation with the relevant cabinet member to deliver the Crisis and Resilience Fund programme. Okay, thank you. Right, item number 11. We won't be going into confidential session because we don't need to refer to the confidential appendix. This is item 12, sorry, is in relation to the upcoming bid ballot and it deals with our role within that, as we are effectively the returning officer as well as being a voting member of the Business Improvement District. This was established. It's now going through its third iteration, and it's been investing consistently with resources come from the bid program for now 8 years. The resolution before us is for us to agree to act as returning officer and deal with the process of the vote, but also to mandate the appropriate officer to vote in favour, because obviously we have properties within the bid area. I think we're the third largest voter in terms of business rates after IKEA and Carnival. And so therefore we will be resolving to support the bid process. This will raise over the 4-year period of the bid around about £7 million that will be invested by the bid board in supporting the Business Improvement District. That can be events, it can be additional cleaning, additional security, and basically making Southampton City Centre a more pleasant place to come to and enhancing and improving it as a place to do business. Hopefully it will again receive a majority of support from the businesses that are entitled to ballot. I think the line in the sand in terms of who actually has to pay it has risen again this year, and it's now up to £19,000 rateable value. So it does eliminate many of the small businesses in the city centre. So the majority of the voters will be the larger, more significant national players, including, in fact, the universities, both Solent and Southampton. So the recommendations before us are to instruct the returning officer to hold a ballot. The notice of ballot will be published in mid-October. The postal ballot will then run at least 28 days prior to closing on the 26th of November. To agree that Southampton City Council will vote in favour of the bid proposals in the ballot, to authorise the Executive Director of Growth and Prosperity to vote in accordance with 2, on behalf of the council as a non-domestic ratepayer of council-owned properties, to authorise the Director of Legal and Governance to do anything necessary for the operation of the Go Southampton bid arrangements. So I know the bid will be issuing its prospectus to local businesses later on, probably in October. That is the basis of the confidential appendix. Obviously, they don't want to see that go out earlier than is necessary, and that is the basis of us taking that in confidential session if we were going to refer to it. So can we agree those recommendations? Agreed. Thank you very much. That's the last item for today. Thank you for your attendance.